Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, so you know what we do. We say, Mike, hump day. So good morning. Hey, for those of you that have been looking for my Tuesday tips, I have done videos the last 2 weeks, and I cannot get them to upload to Facebook. So live videos seem to be working, but Facebook cannot upload a recorded video. I record those videos using a handheld thing. And so I did a Tuesday tip last night that I actually spent a bunch of time on regarding the constitutionality of the governor's order, and I cannot get the thing to upload. And I have messaged Facebook, and it's been the last 2.5 weeks, and they cannot upload a video. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I will try to get that figured out. So happy Wednesday. So, today I want to talk about, we talked a lot about raising your standards. And, if you want to live an extraordinary life, then you've got to live by extraordinary standards. We talked a lot about how are some of the ways that you do that? Well, whoever you surround yourself with, you become. You realize that life doesn't give you what you need. Life gives you what you deserve. So if you want an extraordinary life, you've got to become an extraordinary person in every way. So the qualities that you have is what creates the outcomes that you're looking for. Sow the same seeds. So what's another way to look at this? Well, another way that you can do this is you can reverse engineer. So what do I mean by that? So let's say, I like to talk about looking long term. Look at the end. When you get to the end of your life and you look back, what do you want to look back and see? Do you want to look back and see that you spent a lot of time on things that at the end of the day you look at and go, none of that really mattered? Or do you want to look back and see that you took the time to focus on the things that are really important? And so one thing you can do is look at all of your goals and then say, okay, the person who accomplishes all of these goals, what are they going to be like? Maybe do a day in the life. Somebody who's accomplished all of these things that I've written down, short-term and long-term, 20 years from now, what does their life look like? What are their routines? What are the things that they do? How much do they exercise? What do they eat? How much do they read? What is their general attitude? And then from there, you can extrapolate, what are the qualities that this person possesses? So when you think about that person, what do you think about? What type of characteristics and what type of character is this person? Are they happy? Are they frustrated? Are they exuberant? Do they motivate others? Are they organized? Are they disciplined? How many books do they read a year? How many seminars do they attend a year? How much time do they spend working on budgets? How much time do they spend working on self-improvement? How do they treat their staff? How do they treat their spouse? How do they treat their kids? How do they approach the world? How do they approach their faith, if that's something that's important to you? What are the characteristics that they have on a daily basis? And then bring that back to present day and compare it to the current characteristics that you have. And understand that all of those characteristics can be either exaggerated so that there's more of what's good, or can be changed so that we get rid of what doesn't serve you. And also remember that everything that you've done is a lesson that has brought you to this moment. So don't beat yourself up. If there's a characteristic that's brought you to here, it brought you to here for a reason. Thank it for its opportunity to bring you to this point. And all you've got to do is let it know that that characteristic no longer serves you. And so you're going to replace it with a new characteristic. So if you've had a characteristic of watching 4 hours of TV a day, and if you look at your ultimate vision of yourself and that doesn't serve you, You can, I'm sure you learned some things from that experience. Take those lessons. Thank that characteristic for the opportunity to get you to here, and now you're going to replace it with a new characteristic. You can train yourself to be tired. You can train yourself to be frustrated. You can train yourself to be angry. But you can also train yourself to be excited. You can train yourself to be creative. You can train yourself to be optimistic. You can train yourself to be loving. You can train yourself to be energized. You can train yourself to be driven. You can train yourself to be a leader. All of those things are completely possible. And you just got to study and focus on those different characteristics in order to become them. The people that possess those characteristics, where did they come from? Why do they have them? So like leadership comes out of a desire to serve. True leaders come because they want to help other people. Think about it. From Gandhi to Dr. King to Jesus to John F. Kennedy to Abraham Lincoln, true great leaders come from a desire to serve others. That's where it comes from. So look at these characteristics of this ultimate vision of yourself. The person that's accomplished all of the outcomes that you wish to accomplish, and then bring those characteristics back to today and compare them to how you're living your life. And then start sowing those same seeds. If you sow the same seeds, you get the same rewards. It's that simple. And all you've got to do is little tiny improvements each day. One of the phrases that we have is CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. Can I just improve a little bit each day in each of the areas? Remember that 1% shift is all that it takes. And over time, that 1% turns into thousands of percentage because it multiplies exponentially. They asked Warren Buffett one time, how did you get so wealthy? And he said, good genes and compounding interest, which meant that he's lived a very long time and the miracle of compounding interest. If you want to see what compounding is like, sit down with a calculator and take a look at what happens if you take a dime and multiply it, double it 18 times. And that's a story I'm going to tell you for another day. But you can compound your own interest. What I mean by that is if you make a 1% change each day, at the end of 7 days, that's not a 7% change. That's 1%, and then you add a new 101, and then it's another 1%. So each time it goes exponentially. In the next 5 years, your life will be extraordinarily different. Remember, we overestimate what we can do in a year, and we underestimate what we can do in 5. Now is a great time. The world is turned upside down. It's a perfect time to reinvent everything. Reinvent your life, reinvent your job, reinvent work. Things are going to change. Everything's going to change. We're going to put it all back together like we had it, but it's going to be different. 9/11 was a good example of that. We all still went on planes, but it was different in terms of how we did it after 9/11. We all had an idea of what going on a plane was like, but it was different after 9/11. The same is going to happen here. So take those characteristics and apply them to yourself today, and that's where your focus needs to go. What is that person like every day? How is it that they approach life? What are the things that they get done? What are the things that they focus on? What have they done over the last 20 years in order to accomplish those goals? And then start focusing on that. And each day over time, you're going to build upon that. Remember, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. Start with the little things. You can condition yourself to be happy. You can condition yourself to be creative. You can condition yourself for passion. You can condition yourself for love, for excitement, for joy, for power, for certainty. If you focus on those things, then those are the outcomes that you're going to create in your life. Today's the greatest day to start. It's the first day of the rest of your life. Let's take care of each other. We're going to get through this, everybody. Have a great day.